Hello, and welcome everyone to the Chevron Unlocked podcast, a podcast all about Stargate and the Stargate universe. Join myself, BC, and my fellow hosts, Kevin and Mark, as we talk about SG-1, Atlantis, and Stargate universe. The approach we are taking is to look at 2 or 3 episodes per podcast and discuss those. Thanks for checking us out, and we hope you enjoy the conversation. Hello, and welcome everybody to another episode of the Chevron Unlocked podcast, Stargate-based podcast. That's a bit of a tongue twister right there. I noticed that last week when I was trying to say that. I couldn't quite get that one out safely. This is episode 2. My name is BC. I'm joined again with Kevin and Mark. How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm still on the high that was Star Wars, which we talked about briefly, but or the low, depending on how I feel about it. So tonight we wanted to talk about what we're going to declare. We're going to make a unanimous decision right now that we are on episodes. What did we decide here, boys? 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we're going to take Children of the Gods as counting that as one episode. Those episodes being Emancipation, the Broca Divide, and the First Commandment. Kind of getting into the meat of the series at this point, I think. Starting with Emancipation. Kevin, what'd you think? Initial thoughts.
And not a great episode, I'm not going to lie. I thought it was very damsel in distress and just wasn't my favorite.
That damsel being Carter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like they haven't figured out how to write her yet.
Okay. And for those that haven't seen the episode yet, basically, so when I first started watching this episode, they come through the Stargate, to the other planet, whatever planet that was. And, I was like, oh shit, this is the first time that they're, as a team, going on a mission together. And then they talk about it later on in the episode, how, Jack says something to Carter about, well, remember that time we were on this planet and you got screwed up on that drug and, you took your clothes off or whatever the case may be. So for the kind of the episode out of the gate, I assumed that it was going to be their first mission together, but apparently they had already been doing missions. They come out of the Stargate, they end up on a planet. They're greeted by what, Daniel refers to as Mongols, dressed like it, whatnot. And, how's that work out? Carter's not welcome because she's a woman, and she gets taken back to the tribe, warring tribes on this planet, and then you kind of come into what I would call like a classic Romeo and Juliet scenario, where you got a chief's son that is in love with another chief's son. They can't be together type of scenario. So what killed me?
You meant chief's daughter, but that's okay.
Oh, crapola. Yeah.
Hey, we don't know. Yet.
We don't know. We don't know. Maybe.
Her face was covered for a lot of it.
Yeah, it was. And Kevin, I'm sure you're going to notice this, but the father, and I had to look up his name because I'm like, I know this guy from other shows.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? I'm not going to butcher this. Soon-Tek Oo, I believe is his name.
Was in MacGyver in 1988.
I saw that today. I was like, now, I did not recognize him from MacGyver. I recognize him just being as a character actor from various things, but holy cow, that guy was in everything. He was in the A-Team. He was in Airwolf. I mean, he was in anything and everything that was popular during the 80s. So, but a great character actor. I really liked him in that show. And then we also got, and I'm going to butcher his name, Kerry Tagawa, who was, Shang Tsung in the Mortal Kombat movies.
Yeah.
As the warring tribe's chief. I actually love him as I don't know if you'd call him a character actor because he has done bigger projects and whatnot, but I, for one, actually really did enjoy that episode a lot. I thought it was a little Carter centric, and I'm not the world's biggest Carter fan on that show, but, I enjoyed it nonetheless. I thought it was kind of the first time that, so clearly there is no prime directive on Stargate.
No.
At all.
Just fucking up everything.
No.
They're in there to get their hands on, touch everything, screw up whatever they can. They're there to save the world.
They have no plan. Just nothing.
No. No, not at all. And I'm glad that, and I was watching it about halfway through the episode, something gets brought up about, oh, no. They find where she's at, and Jack's like, we're just going to go in there and fucking get her, and the father, the other chief, has to tell him that, that's going to create a huge war and whatnot. He just didn't even care. And I remember thinking about it, but then they did kind of bring it up halfway through the episode or later on in the episode, how, I think Carter was talking about she was basically wanting to go in there and stop it. But, moving forward, I think that's actually kind of a pivotal thing, is that there is nothing in place for them like the Prime Directive, that they're just going to show up on worlds and showing up in and of itself through that Stargate when everybody and your mother is assuming you're going to be a god. And then half the time they don't ever really tell them any different. They just let them roll with it,
Yep.
And even I remember at that episode where, Abu, the son, was asking, oh, you must be from here. And Jack was like, yes. Okay.
Sure.
Just let them believe what they want.
I love how they all spoke English too. Perfect.
Okay. I was going to bring that up tonight, but since you went ahead and opened that door real quick, why? That's so weird to me that is it every other planet they go to is going to be an English base, but the very first planet they went to was a
Arabic,
yeah.
There was Arabic variant or something.
Mm-hmm.
The priests of the Jaffa were or the priests of the Gould.
Yeah, we're using
just English.
Yeah, but everything I as far as I know now, again, we could come to an episode where Daniel's going to have to, figure out a way to communicate. But as far as I remember, everything else is pretty much, straight up English.
Yeah, and I think they cover it at some point in the future where they talk about how the Stargate itself is doing some sort of translation, and that they had to go through it a couple of times. I might be making that up. I'm excited to find out.
Sounds like Doctor Who.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the magical universal translator from Star Trek, but
Farscape.
Please, I love Farscape. But yeah, I like that. And you mentioned earlier that this isn't their first. I kind of love that too for other stories in this universe. It leaves a lot of room to expand.
Yeah.
Oh, how this wasn't their first outing?
Yeah.
That they don't show every single one they go on.
Correct. No, I think that from a viewer standpoint, I just assumed, coming off the heels of Enemy Within, the very last part of Enemy Within is, Teal'c's allowed on the team, and they go through a Stargate, and then roll credits, and then at the start of Emancipation, they come out of the Stargate. So I don't know. Again, going back to the whole Star Wars thing, I thought it was just one of those how where Rogue One ends, New Hope picks up. I wasn't under the assumption that there were other adventures in there, but.
No, but that aside, I love that it just starts on a planet and we don't have to go through let's go through the Stargate. You're going to PX 938476. I don't care.
You're absolutely correct. I do enjoy that they just kind of threw you into it at that point. That, I would think that there's a reasonable expectation that people that watched the first few episodes of the show had already seen the movie. So we were already pounding out, old information at that point. So I'm glad that they didn't really touch base on anything else old, that was all new material from that point forward. So, of course we're going to get into old material again, but Mark, did you have any, thoughts on Emancipation?
Mostly that I loved how, the whole time Carter just gets, slapped around, and then at the end, she just, takes over.
She just beats the hell out of that guy?
Why didn't she do it before? I feel like she could have just, thrown that knife out of his hand, just slit his throat.
Yeah.
Also, we get from the scene where she's cooking, she has terrible knife skills.
She does.
She could not cook to save her life.
No. Well, in fairness, though, she stated that. Because he asked her what special skills she had, and she's like, I can't cook, I can't sew, I can't dye, and there was something else in there.
Yeah.
And she was like, basically, I'm a warrior, whatever. So, in all fairness, she kind of set that up. So, I don't know if that actually played into it. Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah, it was just basically, to me, it just came off as a Romeo and Juliet story, which I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was kind of an odd choice for your kind of first episode out of the gate to go with that kind of setup. But I do know that they have to they're going to have to there's going to have to be episodes in there before they get back to finding Daniel's wife and finding Scar.
Yep.
You know,
and I get that they want some diversity, but I just don't understand why the Mongols were taken through the gate and or how.
Yeah, they never explained that. Well, they did explain it, but not really why.
Right. I mean, you've got the gate. You've got a mess of people right outside the gate. Why would they be anything but Egyptian?
Yep. Well, because there was never a gate over there.
Right.
Over where in like China region?
China. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
If the Goa'uld are the ones that seed the humanity throughout the universe.
I don't know if that was. I think they were talking that it wasn't the Goa'uld that were doing it because they said something about having good spirits and bad spirits.
Well, in this episode, Teal'c talks about how the Goa'uld terraformed. I think it was this episode.
No.
Terraformed these planets.
No, that was in First Commandment.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
That was.
Yeah. No, that was Broca Divide, actually. You're right. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, Teal'c does specifically state that the Goa'uld did terraform planets. But yeah, I do, but that comes up, and we might as well just move right into Broca Divide. That does come back up in Broca Divide, where Daniel was talking about, shit, I should have wrote that down. What was the name of the dynasty, for the lack of better words, that he said, oh, these people come from...
Because the Bronze Age.
Well, no. It's because they were worshiping the bull, or that the bull was a major point in their theology.
Brahmian.
Yes. Well played, man. Tell me you wrote that down. Tell me that. No, I was about to say, just tell me that came right out of that massive noggin of yours.
Yeah, I'm sitting here staring at my computer like, oh my god, I gotta come up with this word.
Which, again, we do find out that, because Daniel's all butthurt that they've got to leave and he wants to study the culture more, and we do find out that, they're going to be allowed to spend more time researching those new civilizations and whatnot. But so Broca Divide, what do we get? We get them coming through the Stargate, right? Oh no, we get the Malp. I guess is that how that one starts? That they send a Malp. Go ahead.
Malp that sent back nothing. It had no picture, no sound, no signal, and they were like, I'm sure it's fine. Go on.
No big deal.
Go test it. They're like, no. The lights were working.
Just had no light.
But in all fairness, they send in SG-3, the Space Marines. Yeah, completely dark. Teal'c does make the comment about terraforming of planets and whatnot. And then they come across what could be described as what?
Yeah, like Homo erectus.
Yeah, I would say we'll just go Stone Age. I think that actually works. Because, no, that's true, because they were just working with sticks and rocks and things like that.
Yeah, and then that's the whole thing with the Stone Age to Bronze Age.
The Broca Divide, if you will.
Oh.
The name's coming in now. So they get there. Oh, yeah, the light side. They actually had a name, though. Children of the Light? Or is that down an episode that I'm just making that up?
No, it was the Touched and the Untouched.
The Touched and the Untouched, yes.
Yep.
The Touched show up. And,
No, the Touched were the Stone Age people, actually. If you were untouched, you were good.
Look at you. I know, I'm kidding. No, you're absolutely right. The Untouched show up there with their David and Goliath, weaponry, throwing rocks at them. Get them away, and, we're introduced to what was the society again there?
The Brahmian.
Brahmian. Yeah, so, thoughts. Kevin, what'd you think?
I thought it was a decent episode. I thought it highlighted a lot of what they need to learn about what they're doing as far as the Stargate, the whole Stargate system, like what they're trying to do. Because there's no decontamination protocol. They're going to bring back some super aids or something.
Correct. And that was one thing that, to be honest with you, I didn't really think about until that episode brought up. I'm like, yeah, what if even like their version of the common cold comes through that gate, or another race's version of the common cold comes through that gate, you're kind of SOL,
Yeah, it's been growing on that planet with them for how many thousands of years. You've got no control over it. You're going to die. There's nothing for it.
No, you're absolutely right. And it does seem weird that no sort of decontamination process was ever set up prior, to that. And even, what's even crazier is that there was not one set up after that event.
Nope.
Which we're talking lesson not learned at that point. You know what they do?
Well,
They shut down the base. But
to be fair, the lesson they learned was that they could fix it.
That's true. That's true.
Or they self-destruct the base always.
Yeah, just put it in self-destruct mode. Just get it ready. Prep this shit. You know.
I hope the timer resets each time. Otherwise, we're just going to get closer and closer.
Or what if the guy that is supposed to reset the timer is the one that comes down with that? Then we're in a problem. We're in a pickle, if you will. I thought we got a great performance out of Jack O'Neill, like when he turns and he's trying to muster out whatever English he can get, you know. I actually liked him in that performance quite particularly.
Yeah, that was my favorite dinosaur impression.
Oh, but it was so good, man. He did such a good job on that. And are we also introduced to the Doctor for the first time?
Terrell Rothery, yeah.
Okay. And
Janet Fraser.
And she is at this point becoming quite a staple. Like she will, from this point forward, be the go-to physician.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah, for quite some time. So I actually like her as her character too, a lot. And I think Don, who played Hammond.
Don S. Davis.
Yeah, I thought he really started to show what his character can do in that episode. Like when he took that phone call from the president and he's like, my opinion, he goes, send in more people and whoever leaves, shoot them. You know?
Yep.
I absolutely love that. But again, I mean, we're not going to get any sort of decontamination. I don't know why I can't spit out words tonight. I don't know. Did you guys ever watch Star Trek Enterprise?
Yeah, I just finished it actually for the first time.
Okay, I thought that was one of the things that they really did well on that show was the decomp of them coming back from anything, any sort of away mission. They had to sit in that decomp, you know, for X amount of hours and, you know, go through everything and anything just to make sure. I thought that was like the first time I'd really seen that in a sci-fi show that they, you know, put that much reality into it. And I think Stargate could have gone for something like that, considering what they do. But, Mark, what'd you think of the episode?
That was good. Particularly the bathroom scene was hilarious. And,
that bathroom scene?
When Carter.
Oh, in the locker room.
Oh, in the locker room.
Yeah.
Locker room.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I really thought that was actually pretty funny, yeah.
And then I love how they have guards back at the planet. They have guards, and Teal'c goes back and just beats the shit out of everybody, and then just takes their blood.
So yeah,
That's given.
So I have not watched this show in probably 3 or 4 years now, right? So a lot of these episodes I've kind of forgotten about.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect time to rewatch any of your favorite shows. Let some time pass, you know, and then go to rewatch it, and you'll kind of rediscover some things, some episodes and whatnot. So yeah, when Teal'c's, you know, saying, you know, your daughter's still alive or your father is still alive, and they're like, you know, you got to get the fuck out. Like, we're done talking to you. And he's like, well, can I get a blood sample? And they're like, no, you know, and he turns to leave. And same thing, he's going up those stairs, and I'm like, oh, that's going to be great. He's just going to hit somebody in the nose, and he's going to get like a little vial out and just scoop it out from up underneath their nose. I thought that's how that was going to play out. But I did think it was a pretty good part of that episode. And then even when they came back and those two guys are putting those staffs there, like, he doesn't even flinch, you know?
Nope.
Such a great character. He really is. Mm-hmm. And it's such like, what was it? Oh, when Jack's banging on the door after the serum, or not the antihistamines work, you know, Teal'c opens the window and he's like, Lucy, I'm home. And he's like, I can't let you out. And Jack's like, why? And he goes, you called me Lucy. And he's like, just open the damn door.
I love the fish out of water remarks.
Yeah.
That's just my favorite part of his character.
I know, though. I that's such a welcome addition to that. Also with that episode, and I had seen it the first couple of episodes, but that was the first time I really thought that, like, plays Daniel Jackson.
Oh, that's, why am I losing it?
I don't know. It's out of my brain too.
Michael Shanks.
Yeah. It was the first time that, like, Michael Shanks kind of actually reminded me of the movie version of Daniel Jackson. Yeah. There was just something about, I think that he's just, you know, by 3 or 4 episodes in, he was starting to find his foothold, and he absolutely reminded me of Daniel Jackson from the movie. So
I think he was as incompetent as Daniel Jackson from the movies.
Correct.
When they go back to the planet, he puts on his night vision goggles and looks directly into the wormhole.
I am
and is now he's completely blind.
I am so glad that I was not the only one to notice that. Yeah, when him and Tilk are standing on the threshold, he puts him on. I'm like, what are you doing, jerk off? Like, you're not going to be able to see shit for like a good 20 minutes now. And how many times does Tilk have to tell him to fire his gun in the air to scare him away? You know?
It had no effect anyway.
Just drop the woman. You know, she's unconscious. You can drop her. She's not going to feel it. It's fine. Drop the woman, pull out your gun, and fire a few warning shots, you know?
The only thing that did was distract Teal.
So yeah, they get the serum or the antihistamines, shoot them all, which was a really satisfying moment for some reason for me. I don't know why.
Wreck them all.
Yeah, except for Carter. God, man. I'm gonna have problems with Carter for the next fucking 10 episodes or 10 seasons. So like they're shooting all these people, right? And Carter's like, I'll just give him the injection, and pulls out a syringe like she's just gonna like poke him, like he's gonna allow her to poke him after being that. And of course Jack has to fucking shoot him to put him down.
That was
but
such an awkward scene.
Yeah, it really was. And then did you notice if you watch that episode, because I think Teal'c and Jack were the ones that shot Daniel and the woman, and that was hip fired. Like the guns weren't even raised. It was like from the hip. They both just shot. And I'm like, one, Teal'c, you don't even use, I don't think you've ever used a gun. Like you use a staff. So to come off with a hip shot. Yeah, no kidding. Damn.
Yeah, but he's used a hip fire and he uses the staff. Come on.
Yeah.
You're looking at this wrong.
Yeah, that's more of like a shoulder fire. I still think, how do those things have no fucking sights? Like, there's no iron sights on those things.
Did they ever tell how they shoot? Because they don't have triggers.
Yeah, I think you stroke it a little bit.
Oh, don't. Well played, sir. No, I can't remember. I'm sure that some episode down the road we'll talk about it, but I can't, I honestly can't recall them talking about that, about how that's actually fired. Because anybody can fire them. So it's not like a DNA-based, weapon where,
I feel like it would do that, like they should have.
Yeah. That's how they should have done it, to be honest with you. That the user of that weapon is the only one that's able to fire it. But somehow the Goa'uld don't come off as like safety conscious with their fire weapons, or with their firearms though. So First Commandment. This is an episode that we get our first look, and maybe our only look, because I can't remember down the road if this idea comes up again. Basically, not just the commanding officer, but an entire SG team going rogue, with the commanding officer going power hungry, if you will. With you go into as many worlds as they're presumably going to, and everybody assumes you're a god. This one, it finally clicked for him. So, Kevin, what'd you think?
I thought this was a decent episode. I think it kind of really shows how easy it is to subjugate some of these people by pretending to be gods, just because we're a little more technologically advanced, because we haven't been such a low population as they have.
No, I agree. I think that if this were real, like the amount of psychology tests that people would have to go through, to get to the position that they're in, somehow I would think that they'd be able to weed out some of the, almost narcissistic, power hungry mentality types. They
do touch on that though.
Do they?
They say that. Yeah, they make fun of the American government on that they want crazy people for their special forces or something.
Oh no! You're right.
It says it somewhere, and also Carter touched on it because apparently Carter's engaged to this guy.
Was engaged, yeah. She gave the ring back.
Yeah, or he was.
Yeah.
She was. How does that work with him being in the military?
What do you mean?
Can't, like, military not be, like, together?
No, you can, as far as I know.
I think it's just not under the same command.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's from the Pentagon, he's whatever he is.
He was active duty special forces at the time. So not only does he convince himself and these people that he's a god, but what killed me even more is that somehow his team bought into it as well.
Yeah.
Which, that was the weirder part. I can almost understand, I can almost fathom that, you come through this wormhole and you can convince a group of Bronze Age, almost, people that you're a god, but, like, the rest of his team was just like, yeah, we're gonna go with this. He's a god too, Because it only talked about him killing those people that, like, kind of revolted against him. or kicking him out into the sunlight for like 7 days or whatever the case may be. But so
Driving him crazy.
and yeah, driving him nutty. So that was kind of weird to me that somehow the rest of the team would just follow him blindly too.
I think they see power. They want power. They can, have whatever woman, whatever food they want. I guess. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to do it. No internet.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, I guess maybe, but I would think that for some of these people that want power, well, maybe the appeal of it was that these people, this particular planet was so uncivilized, like, and had not gotten into that far in their technology society that they were going to be more easily, controlled and bought into, if you will. Whereas I would think I would want a little more closer to at least steam power in my life, and maybe not on a planet where you can't go outside because it's going to kill you. Mark, what'd you think of the episode?
I thought it was a cool storyline for them to bring in some random technology that they had no idea what was going on.
Oh, yeah.
Figure out that it was actually there to like kind of fix the problem of it that they didn't completely terraform part of it. So I guess they couldn't really fix the radiation part. So,
and that's what that was explained as, right? Is that the planet had begun to be terraformed, and then they had to use those devices to keep up like a temporary shield, if you will.
Yeah.
As the workers, because of the mines, they were digging for.
Oh yeah.
Do we know what was in those mines, by the way? Are we? Because I've got an assumption what's in those mines, but
I don't think they ever said.
Yeah, I don't have anything in my notes.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was ever said. My assumption was it was the ore, the material that the Stargate's made out of, which we find out later on, which I can't remember the name of.
Naquita?
No. Yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. So again, that was kind of my theory, was that, that was an Ecuador? No. Naquita. That was a Naquita mine. Is kind of what I was thinking, and that they just kind of basically use those shields to keep it right over the mines until the rest of the planet can be terraformed. But
the shield, when they connected, it wasn't that big.
Yeah, and that's so when they were leaving, the one guy that helped them out, he said, I never knew the forest was this big, and Daniel's like, oh, it's very big, and I'm like, yeah, but that shield's really not all that big though, man. Like, I
mean, it's big, but you'll never see it.
Yeah. Like, you're not going to see the majority of your planet. Like, it's over. Sorry. But, I don't know. I thought it was a really cool concept for the show. For some reason, it just didn't sit well with me. I think a lot of it had to do with just small nitpicking stuff, like the whole idea that you're never really told why his officers stuck around.
Well, it's because it's the dad from Boy Meets World. He's very authoritative. I listen to him.
Oh, it is.
That's where I know that guy.
I just realized it.
Yeah.
Without the beard, I see it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Damn it, Topanga. You're right. No, that's exactly where he's from. And I feel like he was in another sitcom too, but I can't remember what.
He's been in a little bit of everything. Boy Meets World was the biggest thing I could find him in.
See, and that's what's great about this show, though, is that we get so many of these great character actors.
Oh, yeah.
Like the show is just peppered with people that you'll recognize from other television shows. Sometimes, some great sci-fi stuff. Sometimes you get like the great 80s or the 90s stuff like Boy Meets World. Then you get, go ahead.
So have you guys either, I was going to say one of the, I keep finding Stargate actors in other shows, like constantly now.
Yeah.
And do you know the one, like, I don't know if he was like a lieutenant or whatever, the guy that came in, like,
Lieutenant.
who was the only guy left that.
Connor, yeah.
He's in Continuum. If you've seen
is he?
Yeah. I have not started Continuum yet, no.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Let's see, I'm sorry. Was it the Cave Dweller you're talking about? Because there's all these shows are filmed in Vancouver, so there's a huge connection between them.
Yeah.
One of my favorites that I'm watching through now, Andromeda, Dark Matter, X-Files, Continuum, Travelers, they're all filmed in Vancouver, so there's this huge overlap of actors.
Got Roger Cross. That's what I'm talking about.
Roger Cross, he's 6 in Dark Matter. He's in Andromeda, X-Files. He's in everything. He's one of those character actors.
See, that's what I love about that show, though. You know, and even I kind of got really big into Burn Notice when that was on, and Michael Shanks plays a great role in Burn Notice.
He was in that.
Yeah, great role.
He's a great.
Yeah, it's over the course of like 2, maybe 3 seasons. I think it's just 2 seasons though that he's on it. But a complete polar opposite from the Daniel Jackson character.
I like him better, almost.
Yeah.
As evil.
Yeah, no, I do too. I really do.
Yeah, he's evil in Andromeda too. In one of the first couple of seasons of Andromeda, he plays a crazy ship.
Oh, what?
Well, in Andromeda, the spaceships have robots that are avatars for the ship.
Oh, okay.
And Michael Shanks' wife plays the main ship in it. And so he's in an episode in the first season, I think it is, where he's an evil ship's AI.
That's awesome. See, I need to watch that. I just found out about that Travelers show the other day. Did not know that was on. I have Netflix and it hadn't popped up yet. So I definitely want to start Travelers. I heard pretty good things about it. I think it's just the one season so far on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it just came out. I've watched the first episode. It's decent.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, Brad Wright did that Reddit AMA, and
That's where I heard of it.
yeah, that's where I heard about it. I caught the AMA a little late, I think. Yeah, I was reading through
that's
some
why he did it.
for the Travelers.
Yeah, I feel like that's why he did the AMA.
It's
to get it.
so I was reading through the AMA, dude, and it's got to be tough, man, on him when he brings out this new show, right? A whole new concept, and the only thing people want to fucking ask him about is Stargate. Now,
so in episode 3 of season 6 of Stargate,
So in universe, is he still alive at the end?
yeah, exactly. Like, but I mean, one, I would like to know if he gets mad about shit like that, then he can fuck off. You know, like when you he didn't even create Stargate by any means, but when he took it to the success that it saw on, yeah, but it's got to be very hard on him because you know he's going to get just inundated with Stargate questions and whatnot. But he didn't really answer a whole lot on that AMA. I noticed. All said and done, he did answer a couple of Stargate questions, but they were like the softball questions, like, do you think we'll ever see any more Stargate? And he's like, I don't know, maybe sometime down the road, that type of stuff. Nothing.
MGM, like just ask MGM.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he went to always.
Yep. Now take it up with MGM. So, I guess it was decent. It got me at least turned into, Travelers. So I want to check it out. Wanted to, see how it is. I heard that it was a pretty good first season. So, it seemed like an interesting concept at least. I think that's the only sci-fi I'm really need to get caught up. There's so much old sci-fi. Like I still haven't started Farscape yet.
Oh, you need to watch Farscape.
I know it.
Farscape's awesome.
Some of it.
I know it.
It's a great storyline it's so different. That's what I do like about it.
That's kind of what I've heard. So yeah, any final thoughts on any 3 of those episodes? I'm trying to look at my notes right now. I think I covered.
I got a couple.
Yeah, what's up? Hit me.
Why wouldn't they all carry staff weapons? Because they seem so powerful. They even have the ability to shoot the same tree twice from this episode and from the Broca Divide.
I agree with you there.
And it's unlimited ammo too.
Yeah,
It is unlimited ammo, which I loved, by the way, when he trades Shang Tsung that handgun for Carter, and he's like, "We gotta get out of here. There's only 5 bullets left."
BC, we got your wish in this episode, sort of. Someone hit the iris. We just didn't get to hear it.
Somebody did hit the iris. Yeah, that's right.
They moondoored him.
Yeah.
You guys seen?
Oh God, yeah, I love it.
Game of Thrones.
Oh, it's so good. I don't think even with Stargate, man, I am not like I didn't start watching until like season 5, right? So my girlfriend and I just rented them from a little mom and pop video store down the road, and we powerhoused like all 10 hours of each season to catch up. Like it was so addictive. Oh, that moon door, that whole like 2 episodes with the moon door when they get to the Veil, there's so much fucked up shit.
Oh, tense and just awful.
It was cringeworthy. I was so glad I was watching it with my girlfriend and not with family members at all. Like it was that kind of episode.
So uncomfortable.
Oh my God. It would have been hell. Absolute hell. I am so excited for the next 2 seasons of that. What do we got? 15 episodes. They're going to do season 7's like 8 episodes and season 8 is like 7 episodes, something like that.
Something like that.
So pumped for that. You were mentioning something. Oh yeah, staff weapons. And we'll touch base on this when the episode comes up, but there is an episode that talks about that. When we get more in depth, when we start to meet more the Jaffa, there's an episode where they're talking about technology.
Actually, looks like it's the episode The Warrior. So that should be coming up.
Okay. Is that in this season?
I don't see it.
No, I think that's way down the list, actually. Holy cow.
Let me check. I'm looking.
We're not going to get to that for
Season 5, yeah. No.
Yeah. So it's going to be a little while, but they do talk about the benefits of using human technology versus Jaffa or Goa'uld stuff. So.
Oh yeah, it never gets disabled. It's a thing too.
What never gets disabled?
Oh, the human weapons.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying.
Berry spices.
But even from, because I'm trying to think now within the movie, did they talk about? Because I remember there were scenes where they're unloading on the Goa'uld foot soldiers. Did they actually kill them, or did that armor actually stop those bullets?
No, I think it was like stormtrooper armor. I think it's more for show.
Well played. Well played, buddy. Yeah, that's all. Mark, did you have anything to add to those three amazing episodes? So next week we're gonna have 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 6, 7, and 8, which is Cold Lazarus, the Nox, and Brief Candle.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the Nox, yes.
See, I don't remember any of that. That is so awesome. I can't remember any of that.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's all fresh.
Yeah. And I know I'm kind of spoiling something here, but episode 9 would be 2 weeks from now. That would be Thor's hammer. We're not getting to Thor yet, are we? Not this early.
Kind of.
I don't know. Who knows?
Ooh.
Yeah.
We'll have to watch it.
I know. I'm going to have to stop myself from continuing any further, that's for sure. So yes, Cold Lazarus, the Nox, Brief Candle. Subscribe, and we will talk to you soon.